Joining us. Um, let's see. Can you guys hear me through this mic okay? Okay. Alrighty. We'll our self-directed IRA social, and we thank everyone for coming out for Valentine's Day. I know that you could be at home spending time with your loved ones, but tonight we are your loved ones, and we are so grateful that you're here. You're going to learn a lot tonight. We have Rick Stein, who's going to be talking about private lending and borrowing. But before we jump into the presentation, I am just real quickly going to go through a couple updates, couple announcements, event things that we have coming up, and some coupon codes that you may want to keep in mind. So tonight, as I mentioned, this is our self-directed IRA social. We have it every second Tuesday of the month here in Austin, first Tuesday in Houston, third Tuesday in Dallas. If you ever want to check out those, we do them online as well. So they are hybrid events if you want to tune in for those. But moving right along. Just like tonight, we have numerous resources for educational opportunities, whether that be blogs, videos, events, or just networking events as well. But every Saturday, we have our self-directed IRA Saturday class at noon. We bring on guest speakers to talk about anything from multifamily commercial to notes to borrowing and lending, maybe self-directed IRA basics, Secure Act updates, whatever it may be. Self-Directed IRA Saturday is one of the top webinars that we have. So if you are busy during the week, you can come and join us during the weekend. That is at noon Central Time, so be sure to join those. We also have our socials, like I mentioned, every Tuesday, Houston, Austin, Dallas, first, second, third in that order. Same thing with the lunch and learns. So instead of Tuesday, they're going to be on Thursdays, but still follow the same format. So Houston, the first Thursday, Austin, second Thursday, Dallas, third Thursday. And those will be at 12 p.m. Central Time. So they will be hybrid events as well, kind of like our socials where you can join either online or in person. You can come and participate in those during the day. And then we have our National Networking Happy Hour. That's going to be every fourth Wednesday of the month. If you don't really want to listen to any education, I understand, but you really just want to network with people, maybe pitch your deal, pitch your service, find a deal, find a service. That's going to be the place to go. The National Networking Happy Hour, that's the fourth Wednesday of every month. That's on Zoom, and you can join. Nicole Bako moderates that. She's one of our top IRA specialists, and she is great. But if you ever can't make it to one of our classes, we do stream them on Facebook and also right here on YouTube. So if you miss a class, maybe you want to send a class to somebody else that might benefit from it, you can send them the links here on YouTube or on Facebook. Some of the events that we have coming up, I mentioned them, but this is our really big one. So this one gets its own slide. I'm very happy because last week we did actually finalize the agenda and all of the speakers. So we have quite a few brand new speakers, quite a few speakers that we've had before, experts in the field. We're bringing out Eddie Speed, Jeff Watson, Michael Plax, Adam Barr. We've got some new panelists, Travis Bako, Brandon Wallace, Stephen Topich. If you're not familiar with these names, they are oil and gas attorneys, tax attorneys, real estate and passive investing experts. So it's going to be a really good event with lots of new topics that we've never brought to the stage before. Tickets are $150. But if you are here tonight or if you are joining online, I do have a coupon code for you. Megan, our moderator, is online. She will be posting the comments, and it is MTA50 if you would like to get that discount. Alrighty, so our promos for the month. Who doesn't love free money, right? So if you want to open up an account for the month of March, we are starting a little bit early. You guys are the first ones to get the memo. If you open a new account and you fund it, we're going to actually give you free money. So if you fund your account and you're ready to do a deal, we are going to give you $125 towards your first transaction. How much is a transaction? It's $125. So you get your first transaction free. That's great. So open your account, move your money in, do your deal. You're not going to have to pay anything for that transaction fee. And then, of course, I have the slide every month. If you have a friend that may benefit from having a self-directed IRA, you can refer them. The code is REFER. They'll get $25 to their account, and so will you. And then lastly, if you have any questions about either opening up an account, the events that we have, maybe a specific scenario that you want to run through it, you can always contact us either by phone, the live chat, email, or this QR code actually lets you schedule a consultation right away through our Calendly website. You can pick a time that works for you, and we will call you at that time. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring up Rick Stein. He is new to our audience, but he, I'm sure, is definitely not new to anyone in the crowd. Very, very, very active in the Houston investing community. So let's give a round of applause to Rick. Alrighty. Here's your clicker. It's just going to be right.
Cool. Hi, everybody. Okay, so I have to give a couple of, by the way, I'm very pleased that some of my friends from the Tuesday meetings are here, so thank you. Little disclaimer, number one, I'm not an attorney. Please don't ask me for legal advice. I'm not giving legal advice, and I can get in trouble for doing it, and I'm not going to do it. Number two, I'm not a CPA. So please don't ask me for tax advice or how to structure a deal for tax purposes. I'm not a CPA. The other thing I'm going to ask you is this. We all have cell phones, and we're addicted to them. I turned mine off. I think you would feel very bad if in the middle of my presentation, just give me a sin. Please don't do that. It's rude. It's just absolutely rude. So please, unless it's an emergency, turn it off. Okay, so let's begin. Let's see if I can do this. Nope. Okay, that's me. What a good picture, right? Professional picture. When I first got here, by the way, I'm from New Jersey, as you may be able to tell from my southern accent. And so when I got here 3.5 years ago, I took some professional pictures at the Domain, and I like that one. That's one of them. People say I look so handsome on it, especially the people who come online and, hey, you look very handsome. It's probably some guy or something who wants money from me. But I have a lot of LLCs. Well, I shouldn't say that. I have 4 LLCs. RLS Properties is one of them. I'm going to look up here because I can't see that well without it. Okay. I also have a YouTube channel. And if you go on YouTube, it's RLS Properties, and I got about 16 videos on there, and you'll meet my partner, who I think is live streaming tonight. If you are, hi, Adam. And you'll see the before and after videos of how he does the rehabs. These are all in New Jersey. He's up there. But I get on there and I explain the financing, because I'm going to be all over the place tonight, okay? Just bear with me. There's an expression I learned from a mentor of mine, and he said that real estate is the clothing that financing wears. So a lot of you know this, but I don't know who's in the audience, what you don't know, what you do know. What makes or breaks the deal, especially on a buy and hold property, is the financing. I have paid market value for a bunch of my buy and hold properties. But why did I buy them? Because I got great financing on it, either seller financing or private money, which gave me good cash flow. That's why I bought it. So RLS Properties, there's my phone number. I brought a bunch of cards. I'll leave them here if anybody wants them. RLS Properties, Rick at RLSPropertiesNJ.com is I have 2. One is Rick at RLSPropertiesNJ.com. I'm also a broker. A real estate broker associate with Villa Home. I'm an REO agent, sell a lot of bank-owned properties, so rick.stein@villa.com is my other email. So let's go on. Okay. Little bit about me, trying to be, of course, be extremely modest, which is hard to do. I've been in the business for 36 years. I'm an REO specialist. For those of you who may not know what an REO is, it stands for real estate owned by whom? The bank. So after the foreclosure process is done, and if the bank takes back the property, it goes from their loss mitigation department to the REO department, bank owned, real estate owned. So I have sold, I don't know, hundreds and hundreds, I don't know, maybe 1,000. Anyone know what the RTC is, Resolution Trust Corporation? Back in the 90s, when we had all the bank failures and the government was selling everything the banks had, not only their real estate, but their furniture. And I was doing business for the RTC back in the 90s. I'm a member of FORCE, which is the Federation of REO Certified Experts, and I will be in a meeting in Orlando on Monday. I own about 21 properties, mostly 1 to 4 family homes, some flips, mostly rentals. I also own with my partner a medical office. All of these are in New Jersey. Why? So why in New Jersey? Because of the price point. I can buy properties for about 1/3 of the price that I could buy them here in Austin. And my partner's still up there, so why not? I managed in a real estate office for an international real estate agency, Berkshire Hathaway, for 13 years when I was up in Jersey. I did not own the company. I do not know Warren Buffett, but I managed one office for them. And I have purchased, here's the important part, I have purchased numerous properties using little or none of my own money. Instead, I've used private money. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. At very attractive rates. I've also been a private lender at better rates for me. Okay. All right, so I know that some of you may know this already. Too bad, some of you don't. What is private money? Private money, it could be an institution, right? It could be a company. It could be an individual. But it's privately held, so it's called private lending. So some of my hard money, private lenders are companies, big companies. And what do? Is they borrow money from hedge funds and from lenders like me to lend them money so they could in turn lend it out to someone who's doing the deal. So let's talk. All right, some of the things we'll cover tonight, I'm getting ahead of myself. How to be a borrower. How many of you here, okay, question. How many of you here want to be a borrower? In other words, want to do a deal and know how to borrow money? You know how to borrow money. How many of you, you're helping me out. How many of you want to be a lender? I know you do. Okay, so this way I know how to, I'm going to slow down. I'm a little nervous about this. I've done this 100 times up in Jersey. You're friends. I'm going to calm down, okay? You got my permission? Do I have your permission to take off my jacket? Good. Let's calm down.
We Texans listen slower than people from New Jersey.
Yeah, I know. I've been told I speak too fast. Okay. So how to be a borrower of private money so you could do a deal. And we're going to talk about how to be not so much of a lender, how to protect yourself and your lender. So in other words, you're borrowing money to do a deal, right? You found this great property. You need money. How to protect him. You want to protect your lender. You may be dealing with a private individual who is he's not a professional lender. You have an ethical obligation to protect him and yourself. We'll talk about that. How to protect yourself and your lender, some documents you would use to do that, and then some tips. We'll talk about it. Never make the first offer. And, okay, now, I have been in the real estate business for 36 years. Wow. I think I got licensed in 85 or 86, I don't know. I have borrowed couple of $1 million, even though I'm doing small deals. I don't do big syndication deals like we meet on Tuesdays at Casa Chapala. I'm doing 1 to 4 family homes and not in the millions. But over the years, I borrowed millions of dollars. But I have never spoken to one of my lenders and asked to borrow a dime. I never asked to borrow money. But aren't you borrowing money? Yes, I'm borrowing money, but that's not the way I phrase it. And we'll get to that in a couple of minutes, okay? Okay. So what should you consider when using private money as a borrower or a lender? Okay, so you want to do a deal. So you found a property. Now, tonight, this is really an hour and a half presentation. I have to condense it to about 45 minutes. So I'm not going into how do you find deals. I've done a lot of direct mail. You get them, right? We buy houses. Doesn't matter how you do it. All right. Okay, so I'm going to pick on people. Young lady, what's your name?
Terry.
Perry?
Terry.
Terry, excuse me. Terry, have you done this? I mean, are you an experienced investor?
No, I'm a real estate agent, experienced real estate agent.
Okay, great. Me too. Okay, but let's just say you did the letter, you found a deal, okay? When I started investing back in the day, I was an REO agent. So I had access to properties. I had access to a GC, who was a very good friend of mine, general contractor, who did the clean outs and so forth. I had a team. There was one thing I was missing. Money. Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about. So Terry, let's just say, you sent out a letter, you sent out a direct mail, you got a letter, Terry, I want to sell my property, and it's a great deal. You've done your numbers, it's a great deal. Where are you going to get the money? Okay. I will tell you this. I don't know if I'm proud of this or not. I guess I am. I have signed numerous contracts, not knowing exactly where I'm going to get the money from at all. I've closed every one of them. Okay. Why? Because I have access to private money. All right. So let's just say 123 Main Street, Terry, it needs a lot of love, right? My GC, Adam, you there? I love the guy to death. I speak to him every day. Well, Rick, I looked at the property, and okay, Adam, what's your rehab budget? 40K. Okay, so it's 50K. It's going to be 50K because it's going to go over. Okay. So let's just say for this example, the purchase price is $100,000. Okay. $40,000 rehab and the ARV, which stands for what? After repair value. That's what it's worth after you fix it up and put some lipstick on it. That's a good deal. Hard money lender, and we're going to go over what a hard money lender is. Hard money lender will lend you, it depends. Depends on the market, and it depends on you. But for the sake of, I'll get into that in a minute. 75% of the purchase price, which is $75,000, and we'll escrow the 40K for the rehab. Let me say that again for those of you who may not understand it. You go into a lender and you say, listen, I can buy this property, that's an as-is property, it needs work, for 100K. The lender is not going to lend you 100K, right? The lender is generally going to lend you, it depends. Is this your first deal with them? If it's your first deal, they're not going to lend you as much. Have you done 4, 5, or 6 deals with them, and they know that you close? They'll lend you a little bit more. What about the interest rate? Same thing. Right, Bill? Same thing. So if you're a first-time borrower with this hard money lender, you're going to pay a little bit more. They're going to not be as leveraged because they don't know you. It's a greater risk. Okay. So hard money lender. Term. This is typical, although not always. I don't want anyone getting mad at me. At hard money lender. 2 points and 12% IO is interest only for 1 year. Okay? Everyone know what points are? Is this a yes? Would anyone? Okay. I'm going to pretend that someone here who doesn't really know what a point is, but is embarrassed to tell me. Okay. Points are percentage of the loan amounts, okay? So 2 points, so in this case, and interest is paid on the full amount. Sometimes, depends how much they're lending. Sometimes if they lend below $100,000, how much are you really borrowing? You're borrowing 75 plus 40, you're borrowing $115,000. They may charge you from day one on the interest, okay? If it's a bigger loan, they may say, we'll just charge you for the initial purchase price, and then as you take money from the escrow. Got it? Okay. Can you do this with an IRA? Now, Sarah has told me numerous times that Quest IRA, which is the largest IRA in Texas, is that right, Sarah?
I would say so.
Okay. Has $450 million of uninvested money. She's shaking her head vigorously, yes.
That's correct.
Why would somebody put money into a self-directed IRA and not invest it in something? Because otherwise it's just sitting collecting dust. And Sarah will tell you they are not allowed to invest it for you, nor even suggest how you invest it. It's up to you. So what would be a great source of private money? Someone with money in a self-directed IRA. Okay. Now, this hard money lender could be a company, or it could be just somebody with money in the IRA. When I talk about a hard money lender, I'm not talking about the corporate structure. I'm talking about terms. What are the terms? Now, I'm not, Bill, well, I don't know. Maybe I am, maybe not, because I really haven't done a deal with you. But hard money lenders are called hard. Well, they're called hard because it's based on a hard asset. But they're hard because they're expensive. So I deal with some hard money lenders, and you have to understand that the hard money lender has other investors they're getting money from. Otherwise, they'd run out of money. So it's 2 points. It's 12% interest. It's a couple of $1,000 processing fee. It's a commitment fee. It's an attorney fee. It's a toilet paper fee. It's a fee on the fee. And there's enough paperwork to wallpaper this room. It can drive you nuts. Then why would you do it? Why? Because if the numbers work, the numbers work. And if they're going to lend you the money and escrow, I can't go to Bank of America. Terry, you can't go to Bank or Wells Fargo and say, I want to do this deal, because they're not going to do it. That's not the way they're structured. So you go to a hard money lender. Okay, so there's all these fees on top. It's expensive. Mounds of paperwork they will insist on. Hard money lender will always insist upon being in first position. You know what that means? Yes? Okay. That means they're recorded first. So in the event of foreclosure, they get paid first. Okay. If there's no foreclosure, it really doesn't matter what position you're in. They will insist upon being in first position. You need to, all right, now here's the problem, Terry. I don't know if it's a problem for you or not. We're just speaking hypothetically. They're going to lend you $75,000, right? And they're going to escrow the $40,000 for the rehab. You need to come up with an additional $25,000 plus closing costs. And the closing costs are a lot because of the 2 points and the processing fee and all these other escrows and so forth and so on. And some of the hard money lenders will actually escrow, especially when I've refied and converted to a 30-year loan, they want to escrow 3 months worth of payments. Which is okay if I don't pay you the 4th month, as long as I remember I got to pay on the 4th month. Okay. Okay. When I talk about private money, I'm going to rephrase it, okay? I'm going to call it soft money. The difference between hard money and what I call soft money. Hard money I just told you about, right? It's expensive. Now, not all hard money. You could have someone who's like a hybrid. I'll call it like a cheese. That's a semi-soft cheese. There is a lender here in Texas. Scott, you know her? I don't know if you know her, Bill. Prolid, you know her. She's an individual lady, and she charges 2% and 12 points. I think it's 2%, but I don't have all the other fees. So when I own a medical office up in Jersey, she said to me, Rick, I don't have an attorney up in Jersey. Can you have your attorney draw up the documents? Yeah, and I did. Rick, I don't know any appraisers up in Jersey. Can you hire your own appraiser? Yeah. So it's a 2% and 12, but that's it. I don't have all the other garbage that I have with a lot of hard money lenders. So there's hybrids. I'm talking about soft money. So let me give you an example. Yes?
Okay, quick question on the hard money. Do they require you to make monthly payments at 12%, or is it?
All right. What's your name?
John.
John, okay. Every hard money lender is different. They can have different programs. So they may want you to make monthly payments. I have a hard money lender out in San Diego, and he's like a hybrid because it's his money. He's loaded. God bless him. So he'll say to me, Rick, if you want to pay me at the end, we can do that, but I'm going to charge you a higher interest rate or an extra point. Obviously, if they do that, there's more risk involved for them, isn't there? But, John, I can call up, now we're going to talk about soft money. Soft money is, let me give you an example of how I developed soft money. Okay. How am I doing? Oh, God. Okay. I don't know how much we'll get through this. Years ago, I may have still had brown hair. I don't remember. I was up in Jersey, and I'm doing direct mail. I get a call from who's now my friend, Joe, who is a retired police officer. Joe is selling his mom's place, who's going into an assisted living. She has a condo in Jersey. So I meet him there. It needed minimal work. He actually had ordered the new kitchen. And he wanted $75,000 for the place. Well, that's what we agreed on. We agreed on a purchase price of $75,000. He was going to hold paper, seller financing, which is the same thing as private money, okay, for $60,000. And I think it was 6%. All right? Great. It's going to be a flip. So it was a one-year note. All right, here, you're borrowing money. Always do, listen, here's a little caveat. You're borrowing money. This is going to be an easy one. We're going to be in and out in 4 or 5 months. Make it a one-year note, because you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. And you don't want to say, well, it's a 6-month note. 6 months comes and goes. You can't pay it back yet. And now you got to make that phone call to that lender. Oh, can't pay back. I always do one-year notes. I don't care if all I have to do is slap some paint on it. One-year note. But they're prorated. So therefore, I'm paying on per diem, right? I'm not paying them for 1 year. If I'm paying for 6 months, I'm paying for 6 months. If it's 6 months and 7 days, it's 6 months and 7 days. Okay. So the term could be, so I got ahead of myself. So then, but I still need $15,000, don't I, for the down payment, plus a little bit of a rehab and a little bit of closing costs. And I didn't have it. I was barely paying the mortgage at that time. I called my friend Tom, who has money in a not Quest, he's up in Jersey, self-directed IRA. Tom, I'd like to borrow $26,000. $15,000 for the down payment, rest is rehab and closing costs. Okay. Now, Joe, my first position wasn't first position. I don't remember if I recorded it Tom's or not. it doesn't matter as long as they agree to it. So I borrowed $60,000 from, didn't really borrow it, he held it, right? Held paper for $60,000. I borrowed $26,000 from Tom. I turned the property over. I sold it for 120 something. I paid them both back. I made, I forget, $16,000. Now here is a question for you. John, I'm going to pick on you, okay? You can take it, I know you can. How much money did I have invested in the deal? Goose egg. All right, John, here's the question. Return on investment is a percentage. What was my ROI?
If you invested nothing, it's very high.
So it wasn't, but it was infinite.
Right.
Okay, I do that a lot because I'm able to borrow private money or soft money. So private money, in terms of whatever you agree upon, as long as they're legal. Borrow, i.e. borrow the full amount, $140,000. I'll give you another example with Joe. He's done, so after I pay back Joe, soft money, right? I pay back Joe, he's newly married. And his wife moved in, Christina, sweet lady, moves in with him. They have a house in East Windsor where I used to live. I'm a real estate broker. Rick, would you like to list the house? Well, of course I would. I sell the house for $315,000. I'm looking at the HUD, which is the closing statement. Her mortgage balance is $60,000. She has a lot of what? Equity. My eyes start bulging out of my head. My heart goes pity-patter. I speak to Joe. Hey, Joe, what are you going to do with all this equity? He's a retired cop. I'm going to put it at the credit union. Really, Joe? Really? I'm shocked. This is what you do. What's a credit union, what's it paying these CDs today? I don't remember ones back then. Let's say 2%. Well, Joe, we had a good experience with you holding paper on your mom's place. How about if I pay you 6%? And you invest, okay, here's that word. I didn't say I want to borrow money from you. You invest some money with me. Speaks to his wife, says, okay, Joe, how much would you like to invest? $150,000. Okay, I've done 7 deals with Joe. He's also, right now, he's invested in 2 of my deals. I had a deal last year. We're going to run out of time. But this is what soft money is, what I call soft money, okay? Not hard money, soft money. Had a deal last year. My partner and I bought a property in Jersey. Purchase price is $150,000. I owed Joe $100,000 on another property. So I'm paying back Joe, and I say, hey, Joe, how would you like to just turn that money around and invest it in this property? He says, yeah, I don't need the money. I like the interest. And I had another lender who gave me money from their self-directed IRA for $50,000. 3 days before closing. Count them. 1, 2, 3. My second lender calls me up and bails on me. My daughter says I shouldn't do this. It's not a good idea. He bailed on me. 3 days. I could scrape together the $50K, but Joe calls me then, just says, hey, Rick, where do you want me to wire the funds? And he sees I'm upset. Rick, what's wrong? I tell him what happened. He said, well, how much you short? $50,000? He said, I'll give it to you. I wanted to crawl through the phone and give him a big hug. Am I going to do that with another hard money lender? So I bought the whole thing again. None of my own money. Am I going to do that with a hard money lender? No. Why does a hard money lender or any lender only want to lend at we'll say 70% of the value? In case of what? In case of foreclosure. They have to have some equity in there, right? They're not going to lend 100%. Okay. So let's look at the same deal. 123 Main Street, total loan is 150,000, 140. I borrow the whole thing. Okay, how are you gonna? I got to move along, but you got to be careful here, right? I am not going to over leverage myself or over leverage my lender. I'm going to give them. I will go on bigger pockets. That's what I like to use, and they have tools on bigger pockets, and I can do a pro forma on bigger pockets, and show them all the numbers so that I can say, Terry, yeah, you're lending me $140,000, but we'll just say the ARV. What was the ARV? I mean, you're at like a 60% LT loan to value. You're good. You're okay. Terry might lend me the whole $140,000. Here's a little caveat. Every hard money lender that I know insists upon being in first position. I told you why. Some of them will not allow a second position lien. Same reason, foreclosure, they have to deal with them. So I have borrowed money, a lot of money. I'll tell John I can't record your lien, which is what I'm saying. I can't record your lien. It's just going to be a promissory note. It's going to be a personal note. But I have such a good relationship with Joe or John or some of the others. Well, what's my LTV? Yeah, it's 65%. All right, that's fine. I had one, we did about 2 years ago. I had a first and a second. I was still short $50,000. I called my old regional manager from Berkshire Hathaway. I'm still friendly with him. David, I need 50K. Okay, I'll give you the 50K. We agree on terms. But you're going to be in third position. This is what he said to me. Do I have to be in any position? Those were his words. No, we're just making a promissory note. Okay, now Joe, Dave, I'd really like to pay you back at the end. All right. Can I do that with a traditional lender? No. That's why I talk to them as a soft, I call it soft money lender. Okay. These are people I know. These are people you develop relationships with. And once you develop the relationship and you pay them back, they will do another loan, you pay them back, then you have a level of trust. Let me say this. There is no shortage of money out there. There's gabillions. That's a lot of money. That's more than billions. There's a gabillion dollars out there looking for a home. So you could say, well, you know, I don't have the best credit in the world and blah, blah, blah. A lot of these loans are asset-based. If the deal makes sense, they'll do it. So what I recommend is, if you're looking for a hard money lender or someone from the self-directed IRA, by the way, when is the virtual happy hour? Which Wednesday?
It's going to be the fourth Wednesday.
Fourth Wednesday. It's free. Quest has it. Go on their website, and there's like 30, 40 people. Introduce yourself. You got to get out to these things. Okay. So in this example, hard money, 2 points, $2,800, 12% on a $140,000 loan for 1 year is $16,800. $19,600 plus estimated additional fees of $5,000. You're borrowing 24/6. About that. Private money, you're borrowing 11/2. Which would you rather do? Oh, I thought you'd say that. Okay. All right, here's some tips, because I'm running out of time. And I want to leave time for some questions. I hope you're getting something out of this, because I'm having fun. If you are, any questions so far? Everyone? Yes, Prolet.
Do you think it's also easier for you to borrow some of this money because the price point is less? So it's like, I loan you
Yeah,
$50,000,
okay,
so I'll loan
yeah.
you $200.
Well, the question is, and it's a good question, is it easier to borrow less money or more money? Which is the question, right?
Yes.
Okay, which is why I'm still doing a lot of business in Jersey, because the price point is much lower. It's a lot easier for me to call Joe or some of the other guys and say, listen, I need Would you like to invest $50,000? It's harder to say, would you like to invest $300,000? The other thing is this, in the Austin area, do you know what the 1% rule is? 1% rule says if you're going to do buy a rental property, your rent should equal 1% of the purchase price. If I'm borrowing, here we go again. If I'm buying a $400,000 property, I'm not going to be able to rent it for $4,000. So there goes my exit strategy. If I can't flip it, I have a problem, don't I? And I'll probably be at a significant negative cash flow. But example, 2015, I know I'm going back. Okay, last year, I bought in Trenton. Now, Trenton's the inner city. There are some good areas, some bad areas. Some areas you couldn't give me the house for free, and I've been offered houses for free. I say no. It's just not worth the aggravation. But there's some very decent areas there. So I bought a property there, and near the park, very decent area. The rent is $1,350 a month. Not me, cosmetics, some lipstick. Bought it for $90,000. What am I buying down here for $90,000? Not even an outhouse, nothing, right? Okay, that's why I'm still buying in Jersey. Never make the first offer. So, Paulette, okay, always like your red hair. Okay. So let's just say you're one of my private lenders, okay? We're friends, whatever, okay. You say, yeah, Rick, I'd like to, I have some money, I'd like to invest in one of your projects. Good, okay. I explain how it works, and you say to me, well, you know, what kind of interest rate? Paulette, what would you like? Okay, Paulette, I have in mind that since she's going to be in second position, I'm willing to pay 12%.
That's what I was gonna ask for.
But I know that. But Paulette says, I'll take 10%. I just saved myself 2%. Right? You're a real estate agent, right? You're walking through, and I've been an agent for 35 years. I'm walking through a house, and I'm about to list the property. And I know, I already did my CMA. I know what the property is worth. So, Terry, you're the seller. Terry, tell me, do you have an idea of what you think the market value of your house is? I know it's $350. If she says to me, well, I'm not going to give it away for less than $4.25, because my house is the nicest one in the area, and I have, okay, I know I have a problem, don't I? I'm going to have to overcome that before I even talk about the price. She says, well, $350, thank you. It just saved me a lot of time. So never make the first offer. Even when you're making an offer on a home, always ask, well, what do you have in mind? Do you have a number in mind you'd like? They may say to you, just like they said to Terry, well, I want to hear what you got to say. But they may say, I want $100,000, and you just saved yourself $20,000 because you had $120 in your mind. Never make the first offer. Okay.
Question.
Sure.
So what do you do when they tell you, like, well, how much would you give me? Like, basically, I don't make an offer, and I tell you, well, how much you.
Okay, well then I would say, okay, for that, where is your money right now? You got $50,000. Where is it right now? In the bank. In the bank. Well, gee, what's in the savings account? What is the savings account paying right now?
2-3%?
I don't think it's 3%. Anyone idea what the savings are? Even a 5-year CD. What's a 5-year CD paying now? 3%? I don't know. Okay, what's inflation? 8? Okay. For that, do you realize you're losing money? And the bank has the big, because I've seen it, the big poster, we are proud. to offer a 3% on a fund. You're proud? I'd be embarrassed. 5-year, how about, instead of 3%, now I haven't told it inflation's 8%. How about if 3%? How about if I double that and offer you 6%? How's that sound? Does that work for you? And then you know what you do? You shut up. Because the next person to talk loses. So how about if I offered you 6%? Would that work for you?
No?
What would work for you? What would work?
Okay, I get it.
Okay. All right. Sarah, how am I doing on time?
We got about 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. I'll talk slower. Any questions between the difference of what I call hard money and what I call soft money? All right. Well, I know what you're thinking. Excuse me. How do you develop these relationships to get soft money? It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. But I want you to think of if you took out your telephone and went through your contacts, your dentist, your doctor, someone who's working a lot of hours, high-income person, and they say, I would love to invest in real estate, but I don't have the time. Can you give them a solution? Can they be a passive investor? They would get excited about it. They can do that. Well, what you got to do is you have to attend, you got to get out there. Attend things like this. I attend 2 network religiously every week. One of them is Tuesday at Casa Chapala. I was there today. Starts 11:30, and it's really for apartment investors, and they're doing huge deals. They're doing, millions. They're syndicating. I don't do syndicating. Doing multi-million-dollar deals. So why do I go? I make contacts. So the lady who I met there, who has financed 2 of my deals in Jersey, I met there. I also invest in a hard money lender online. I lend him money, and in turn, he lends it to contractor, builder, whatever, and I get passive income. So I have met a great number of people there. The other thing is this. I'm not looking to raise millions of dollars, not once. But I say to myself, because some of you may feel funny about, I've had this, Rick, I kind of feel kind of funny about asking people to lend me money. There's that word again. Well, I'm not asking anyone to lend me anything. People with money are smart with it, aren't they? And they look to do what? Invest it. I'm just giving them an investment opportunity. I have no problem. I would go up to Warren Buffett. I have no problem. I used to be, but I'm not intimidated anymore. It's an investment opportunity. That's all it is. Say yes, say no. It's an investment opportunity. Now, again, I have borrowed over $1 million, well over, but I've never asked to borrow money. I ask them if they would like to invest. I have a project. Would you like? I get calls once, twice a week from those people in the Tuesday meeting because they're syndicating. So they're borrowing millions of dollars, not from one person, $50,000 to $100,000. I get calls at least once a week, if not more. Rick, we have this project, and we're looking to, and they tell me about it, $50,000, $100,000. That's the name of the game. That's what we're doing. Okay. Let's see. Oh, wait a minute. I'm not done. I'm going to keep going. Okay. So, any other questions at this point? Yes, thank you, Paulette.
know you're talking about the percentages, but do you show them, you said like, oh, make a pro forma on bigger pockets, do you show the people this pro forma, do you try to?
No, I show it to them. I don't put the financing in, but here's a picture of the house. Here's everything. Here's the purchase price. Here's the ARV. Here are the expenses, taxes, so forth and so on. And I'll show them as much as I can show them. One thing I didn't get to, which I mentioned at first, how do you protect, what kind of forms do you use? Again, I am not an attorney, don't ask me. But you're going to need at least two things. You're going to need a promissory note. Those you may not know, promissory note is exactly that. It is simply like an IOU. It is promise to repay, and it lays out the terms, the interest rate, when it begins, when it ends, the amount, how you get paid, and so forth. And then in Texas, you have a trust deed. In New Jersey, we have a mortgage. It's a judicial state. But it's a mortgage, and that is a recorded document because the trust deed is what? The collateral for the note, which means the promissory note says you pay me, you have to owe me this money. And if you don't, I can foreclose on you. So that is why. Oh, also, here's a question. So a promissory note, deed of trust. Who's going to do that for you? An attorney. Plagiarism. Do not go online and look it up. Oh, I'm going to buy this form specific to Texas online. They're wrong. They're not specific enough. Spend the money to hire Terry will confirm this. There is nothing worse than saying, are you going to use an attorney for your transaction, Mr. Seller, Mr. Buyer? Yes, I'm going to use someone who did my tax attorney or the divorce or whatever 5 years ago. Don't do that. Would you go to a cardiologist for your feet? It was the same thing. Go to a real estate attorney who knows what they're doing. Spend the money, have it done right, and get yourself protected. Here is, let's say we're paying cash for a property. Do you need title insurance?
Yes.
Time out. It's a trick question. I'm going to rephrase it. You're paying cash. Is there a law that says you have to buy title insurance?
No.
No. Should you get title insurance? You'd be very foolish not to. Now, if you are going to have a lender, and they know what they're doing, in the title insurance, you're going to mention the lender in the title insurance so they get paid first. If you're paying cash, here's the same question. Do you need to get home insurance? No, I'm going to say it again. If you are paying cash, is there a law that says you need home insurance? No. You don't have to. Would you be an idiot not to get it? Yes. I've seen people do it. There's nothing wrong with this place. Yes.
And I also have a presentation I make. It's the number one mistake. If anybody in here is going to be a private lender, if you have money and you're going to lend it, what's the number one mistake that private lenders make? They don't get title insurance. It just doesn't even cross their mind that they need a lender's title.
Yes, they need a lender's policy. There's a lender's policy and an owner's policy. The lender has got to be paid, and in your home insurance, your lender is named as a first payee. Yes?
Is there another alternative here, like a research title by a lawyer?
Other
than insurance, isn't there something else? A title search.
Well, okay, well, there's going to be, in order for you to get title insurance, there is going to be first a title search because they want to see if there's any liens on the property. And if there are, they've got to be paid off at closing. Otherwise, they're not going to issue insurance.
There are people online that will tell you you don't do title insurance, just do a title search. And they say that's all the title company does. They do a title search and then sell you a title policy. Get the title insurance. Get the title insurance.
Yes.
So, I do a title search myself. I do a title search. But I also get the title insurance. Because tells you if there's a cloud on the title, but it doesn't insure you against something that
Right.
you didn't find.
And they could miss something. And then you go to sell the property, and the buyer does a title search, and they find this old mortgage somewhere that may have been paid off, but it was so old, and the company is closed down, and they got to find. This has happened to me. They got to find some old geezer in a nursing home.
For somebody who's dead,
Yeah.
or somebody who's dead that didn't sign the title and they sold it.
So always, why would you not spend another couple of $100 or $1,000 and get title insurance? Yes, Scott.
So, kind of big picture question. I'm new to town. I got enough cash for a down payment on the property I want to buy.
Yeah.
What would be the benefit to me of going to a traditional public lender, a mortgage company, a bank, whatever, versus going to a private lender?
So the important question.
And then the flip side of the question is, once I have all those connections and contacts and relationships, what will then the benefit be to me of going the private money route versus going to the bank, public?
It's a question you have to ask before you ask that question. Are you gonna live in the house?
It's an investment property.
Okay.
I'm looking to buy an investment property, got plenty of cash for the down payment, but I'm new to town, and I don't have all these.
We
I don't have
are-
any networking group yet, so I don't know anybody. What
Bank of America is not going to do it.
Huh?
But you need rehab money?
Probably, yeah.
No, Bank of America is not doing that deal.
Sorry?
Bank of America is not doing that deal. That's why there are hard money lenders.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
what's the first step I take then?
go. All right, good question. Here's what I recommend. If you want to start investing, start building relationships with both hard money lenders, because you want to be approved. I don't want to find a house and first have to start an application process that's going to take 2 weeks. I don't have the time. So I have, with hard money lenders, real hard money lenders, I have established relationships. So there's one, Alpha Funding. They're up in New Jersey. I helped them I was one of their first investors 12 years ago. They know me. I've been approved by them. They had all the tax returns and all the other garbage. So I can go on their, excuse me, I can go on their website, and I can go along the top, it says borrowers. Pull down menu, proof of funds. Takes me 2 minutes, put in the information they want, and within 5 minutes, I get a proof of funds letter from them. Now, is that a commitment to do the loan? No. They're saying Rick and his LLC is approved. I can get a proof of funds for just about any amount of money I want. But they have to approve, they're going to do an appraisal, they have to approve the property, because it's really an asset-based property. So I have relationships with 4 or 5 different hard money lenders. One hard money lender I have, but I also have I'll get to that in a minute. No, I'm rushing. Slow down. I'm from New Jersey. I have a hard money lender out in California. Name of it, Geltco, Geltco. Geltco, by the way, Gelt in Yiddish means money. He's a Jewish guy. So am I. We get along. So, Ryan, great guy. So we get together and we kibitz, means we talk a lot, talk to each other. So, easiest guy in the world to work with. It's his money. He's a gabillionaire. Okay? He's a gabillionaire. It's his money. So he's going to charge less than 12%. I don't want him mad at me. I get a very preferential rate for 2 reasons. Number one, I'm established with him. He knows I pay him back. But the other reason is he's not even lending at 70%. He's lending at 62%. He wants to be completely risk averse, which is fine, except in what? I got to come up with more down payment. Okay. Sometimes it works, sometimes not all hard money lenders are the same. He will not do a refi. He's not going to do a 30-year term. He'll do a 1-year term. So I have relationships with 4 or 5 different hard money lenders because I don't want to have to start all over again. But I have those same relationships with Joe, the retired cop, and Tom, a very good friend of mine, and another Tom who has $50,000 out on a deal in second position, and Mark, and a few other guys that they're all up in Jersey. I know them, we're friends. They trust me, imagine that. I can call them up and just say, hey, listen, I got a deal. I'm looking for 30, I got one deal. I had Joe, 2 years ago, retired, I love the man. Calls me up, says, Rick, I was just having lunch with my dad. And I told him about how successfully we're working together. So my dad says, I have $100,000 sitting around. Could Rick use it? Rick used it. I got a call. I have another private lender, Danny, who started out as a seller financing, became a, we moved, I paid him off, he gave me back the money. So he did a $45,000 note with me, but amortized over 10 years. So I'm down to like 24,000. He calls me up the other day. So what was I doing over Thanksgiving? I was calling all my private lenders. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. By the way, if you happen to have any extra money sitting around or know somebody who does, we're always, Adam and I, they all know my partner, we're always buying in New Jersey. Danny calls me 2 weeks later. Rick, sorry to get back to you. Listen, don't prejudge. The guy that's driving the Mercedes and has the McMansion and has the kids in private school, he's choking. He's leveraged up to his eyeballs. But the guy who has the modest home and drives a Toyota and lives a very modest lifestyle, he's loaded because he's lived below his means. Preach. Below his means and saved his money. Danny, it's a good story. And then I know we got to end. I hope you got something out of this tonight. You can give me the standing ovation when you're done. But Danny, for his whole career, was a single guy. Single guy. So how I met Danny was he has this place in Trenton, and I buy and sell financing. Single guy. No, hope he's not listening. I go, single guy, a little eccentric. I go in, let's sit down at your kitchen table and do this. I sit, this is the truth. I'm sitting here, and in the other seat, he has a life-size female mannequin. I shook her hand, her arm came off. Not for me to say. Good guy. Anyway, he'd never made much, 40 grand, 50 grand a year. So you would think he doesn't have that much money. So when I did another loan with him for $45,000, but over 10 years, Danny, you're going to get $500 a month. He's retired. Could you use that? Would that make $500 make a difference to you? Oh, yeah. Okay. He calls me a month ago. Rick, I got another $40,000 laying around. You've always done well by me. Could you use it? We used it. And I'm paying him, I forget, he's getting $200, so now he's getting $750 a month. He's getting $500 from the first loan and $250 from the second loan. Is Danny happy? Danny is happy. Okay, yes. Oh, 5 minutes. I thought you were waving to me. Okay. So we'll wrap up. The whole point of this is don't be afraid. Go out, establish relationships with hard money lenders. Bill is a lender. I don't know where you lie between the hard, rock solid cement lender and my friend Danny. Somewhere in between. But establish relationships with hard money lenders and soft money lenders. so that when the time comes and you get the deal, you don't have 2 weeks to apply. Go out and call up and say, Bill, we've done 4 deals. Here's the deal. And Bill could say yes or no. I call up Ryan in California. He'll let me know. He'll say, let me call you back in a few hours. I give him all the numbers, send him a few pictures. He'll call one of his brokers up in that area because he wants to get an independent, what's it worth. He'll call me up, and he's only said no once. And I got it from somebody else. Okay, I'm done. I hope you got something out of it. I hope. Okay, say yes, 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 yes. Okay.
Yes, we did. Let's give a round of applause.
Thank you, Scott.
Oh my gosh, we have a standing ovation. I love
If
it.
anybody wants a card, they're here. And go on my YouTube channel, RLS Properties.
Yes, if you want Rick's contact information, yes, grab his card. If we have any questions online, we would love to answer those. Let's see what we got. So far, nothing online. So do we have any questions from the audience? I know we answered a lot of them during the presentation, but just in case. All right, going once, going twice. Oh, all right, one over here.
So, what has been your best and worst, basically, borrowing interests?
My best and worst borrowing? Okay. Question is, what has been my best and worst borrowing experience? My best borrowing experience was the deal I told you where I was paying back Joe $100,000. He had agreed to turn it around and give it to me for this other property. And actually it's the same one. My second lender, who had money from his IRA, whose daughter told him not to do it 3 days before, bailed on me. That's not fun. But what made it the best? An hour later, Joe, well, what's wrong, Rick? The guy bailed on me. I got to close in 3 days. How much do you need? $50K. Well, what if I lend you 53 so you have some closing costs? Okay, Joe. And he did. And I still have the loan. And I pay him every month. I set up in all my mortgages, I set it up from my business account as an auto pay. I don't want to forget. That is the worst thing you could do. You've got to pay your lenders on time. I have a 3-family that during the pandemic, do I have time for a quick story? Okay. Private lending, seller financing. 2017, I was put in contact with a bond trader. Bond trader's a smart guy, right? Makes money. He's not stupid. Lives up in Connecticut, wherever, New Jersey, very expensive. He bought, back in 2005, he bought a 3-family in a decent area of Trenton. He paid $300,000 cash for it. In its best day, it was never worth anywhere near that. Just because he knew about bonds did not make him smart about real estate. And the tenants are professional tenants. Well, if you don't get over here, I'm going to take you to the city, I'm going to sue you. They're breaking things so they don't have to pay, driving him up a wall. I bought the place. Now, if I went to a hard money lender, they're going to want 25% down, 25% down. They're going to write points, blah, 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 blah. I bought the property, it was for $110,000, which was not a great deal. It was $35,000 a deal, which was about right at that time. But I gave him $10,000 down, which is less than 10%, right? And he's holding paper at 2%. So I figured out, based on the cash flow, I'm paying him $750 a month. So at 2%, most of that $750 is what? Principal. So I now owe him just under 60,000 bucks. And he gets paid every month. I've raised the rents, and the rent, the value now of the property is probably about 300. No. No. I had, during the pandemic, I call them Sister Act. In two of my apartments, it's a 3-family, had 2 sisters, and they decided at the beginning of the pandemic that we're not going to pay you because we don't have to. They admitted they were working. They just didn't feel like paying me, and they didn't. So when the eviction moratorium was over in New Jersey at the end of 2021, I evicted them, and now I'm suing them. And I will probably never see a dime from them, but if all I get is the satisfaction of knowing they have a not only eviction, but a judgment against them, that's fine with me. Okay. Yes.
I think we had a question from Bill. I'm gonna answered. Got it.
I have a question, and I don't know if it's for you or
Yeah. So my understanding as well is that so if people are lending other people money through their IRA, they also don't have to deal with all the UDFI and other stuff like when they're investing directly into.
All right. I know the answer,
thing?
but I'll let Sarah answer it.
Yeah. So it depends on what type of investment you're doing. There are some investments that might accumulate like that unrelated business income tax or the unrelated debt finance income. Most of the time with private lending, you're not going to experience that. A lot of the times you'll see that in commercial property, LPs, JVs, things like that. You're not going to see that so much in private lending whenever that's just like a agreement between you and the lender.
Here's a question. Can you use your IRA, your self-directed IRA, as a down payment and get a mortgage on the property? Yes, you can. But it's not just any mortgage. It has to be called a non-recourse mortgage, which means that in the event of foreclosure, they could take the property, but they can't attack your other assets. Not every lender will do it. Some will, but of course, higher interest rate, more money, because it's greater risk. Can you use your IRA in conjunction with someone else's IRA to buy a property? Yes, you can. So it doesn't have to be, I got to pay all cash for this property. If you do, correct me if I'm wrong, because I've experienced it myself. If you do have a mortgage, you have a residential property and you have a mortgage on it, you are subject to UBIT because they consider it you're running a business and you're reaping a profit, but not all the profit is from your money.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. If it is considered running a business, yeah, you will have a UBIT tax.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. I'll hang around a little bit. If you want my card, it's right there. Go on my website, and thank you so much for attending. I enjoyed this.
Yes, let's give one more round of applause. And thank you for everyone online who joined us. You will get the replay, and for those here as well, you'll get that too. If you would like to come up and pitch your deal or service, Bill will kick us off. Feel free to come up and do so. Everyone online will hear your pitch. And yeah, we do ask that you keep it to about a minute.
Now, a lot of, some of the questions related to establishing relationships with private lenders. Wouldn't it be great if there was some place where potential borrowers and private lenders could like get together and network and maybe have an educational presentation and just network together and pitch their deal? Wait a minute, I know such a place. It's right here. On the first Thursday of every month, the Austin Private Lenders and Borrowers Networking Meetup meets right here at the Quest office at 6:00 p.m., first Thursday of every month. There's also on the third Thursday of every month, that's day after tomorrow, On the third Thursday of every month is the W-2 to Financial Freedom through Real Estate Investing Meetup, which is also right here at the Quest office. Now, these are not directly affiliated with Quest. We're just very Quest friendly, and we meet at the Quest offices, and it just happens that I'm a customer of Quest as well. I'd like to also mention that I'm a private lender, and if anyone wants to chat about that, I'm always happy to chat about it. I think, I'm a big advocate of establishing relationships with private lenders long before you have a need for borrowing money. So if you want to meet for coffee or something like that, feel free to hit me up. Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Madison. I am from San Antonio. I do have an account here at Quest as well, but I do the majority of my investments outside of an IRA. I have been investing since 2010, a mixture of both rental properties and notes. I am actively looking to create more relationships with private individuals who privately lend or privately invest. So I use private money. Majority of the money that I do use is private money for acquisitions. And I also do owner finance, so I'll purchase with private money. I will owner finance at a wrap, and then I will also use private money to sell the notes that I created. So I am looking to create more relationships with people. So can I give my phone number since, okay. Okay, so for online, I'm Madison Smith. My phone number is 210-378-7720. And my email, Madison at Realty Solutions with an S at the end, 210.com. Thank you.
Yes, and for those that aren't aware, we always are streaming these classes online. So if you ever want to pitch your deal or service to those that may be participating on the online service, definitely come to the front and do that in any of our Dallas, Houston, or Austin offices. But if we don't have any more people for tonight, we want to thank you for joining us, and feel free to come for the next classes that we have in March. We have Dee Boring and Rosh Wadera that are going to be talking about underwriting and setting yourself up for success in multifamily for 2023. So without more, we're going to close tonight, and thank you for coming. And happy Valentine's Day.
Are you sick of having issues with your webinars?
Better than this. Tell me how you feeling it. Don't really get much better than this. There's nobody else I would rather be with. It don't really get much better than this. Oh, tell me how you feeling it. Huh? Tell me how you feeling it. Tell me how you feeling it. You make my world when you're running. when you're running. Let me tell you what you need to hear. 'Cause I need you close, I need you near. Let me tell you what you need to hear. 'Cause I need you close, I need you near.
Smile on your face, even though your heart is frowning. But hey now, you know, girl, we both know it's a cruel world. But I will take my chances. As long as you love me, we could be starving, we could be homeless, we could be broke. As long as you love me, I'll be platinum, I'll be silver, I'll be gold. As long as you love me. As long as you love me, we could be starving, we could be homeless, we could be broke. As long as you love me. 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 Long as you love me.
I was running on an empty heart, not a trace of gasoline. Trying to dim every single spark that could hurt, that could burn all of me. Like a soldier on the battleground, lying wounded on the field. I was fighting along with a broken sword. Now I'm caught in a war with no shield. If you hold me now and leave me never, say you'll stay with me forever, then I surrender, surrender. If you hold me now and leave me never, say you'll stay with me forever, then I surrender, surrender, yeah. I pushed and pulled all the ones that tried, then I watched them fade away. As I look around a vacant room, I see nobody left here to blame. 'Cause I made myself a prisoner, shackled up by all my fears. But I feel you breaking away.
Alrighty, we've got about 5 more minutes. If you would like to continue your conversations, we do ask that you do so outside of the office or in the meeting area right out there. We are going to be closing up and consolidating everything, so please continue your conversations outside. Thank you.
run around throwing that dirt all on my name. Cause I knew that I'd call you up. You've been go around every party in LA. Cause you knew that I'd be at one. Oh, I know that trust is gone, I feel regret. Got me thinking back when you were mine. Now I'm all up on you, I should expect. Should I come and home with me tonight? You just want attention, you don't want my heart. Baby, you just want for me and someone else. Yeah, you just want attention, I knew from the start. You're just making sure that you just want attention, you don't want my heart. Baby, you just want for me and someone else. Yeah, you just want attention, I knew from the start. You're just making sure that throwing that dirt all on my name. Cause you knew that I call you up. Baby, another way, right here, standing face to face. You already know that you won. Oh, I know that choice is gonna regret. Got me thinking back when you were mine. Now I'm all up on you.